into Turntable Taxi on KSJE Saturday nights at 8 o'clock. Each week, we select a musical style and play 78s, 45s, and 33 RPM records. Some of our themes will include swing music, blues, heart-wrenching torch songs, early rock and roll, girl groups, soul, and R&B.
Robots the size of blood cells, Earth-like planets outside the solar system, science fiction.
No, science faction.
Join us, Seth Shostak and
Molly Bentley and
KSJE Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. for Big Picture Science.
Big Picture Science steps back to get the wide-angle view on science and technology.
So think big. Big Picture Science, Saturdays at 8 a.m.
on KSJE, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners.
This program is supported by San Juan Health Partners Urology, providing a wide range of personalized services for the whole family, including children. Our caring professionals are dedicated to helping meet your urology health needs with skill, experience, and service you need. For a complete listing of our services and to learn more, visit sanjuanhealthpartners.com or call 505-609-6300. San Juan Health Partners Urology, a division of San Juan Regional Medical Center. Twelve minutes past 8 o'clock. It's Thursday morning, May the 16th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin, and thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, broadcasting from San Juan College. And good morning to our viewers who are watching us live this morning on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. Welcome aboard, everyone. We are glad you are with us. Coming up in the next few moments, my guest here from San Juan County. We're going to talk about vector control, which is controlling mosquitoes in the area, and some other things to talk about this morning. Of course, with our very wet winter and spring, mosquitoes are a potential big problem in San Juan County this spring, and so we'll be talking about that in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Later on this hour, we will check in with Jason Calcote from Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation. He will check in on the economy with us. Of course, the stock market's been a little up and down, and talking about trade with China and some of these other economic factors, all coming up today at 8:55 on KSJE. Mick Hess will be here roving with the arts after the news at 9 o'clock. And today, Mick is playing more Bach concertos. And today it is concerto number 67 and 68 on Roving with the Arts today at 9:06 on KSJE. And today at noon, it is our second airing of Right on Four Corners for the week with Tracy Hales-Vass. Tracy is talking to author Michael Shayashi, and he is talking with her about Native Americans in graphic novels. That is the topic today at 12:06 right here on KSJE, our local and regional author program, Right on Four Corners. And of course, don't forget to join us on Saturday right here at San Juan College for the KSJE 0 Mile Fun Run. You can register on site for $20 on Saturday and join us for the 0 Mile Fun Run. In fact, we know we'll have guests from San Juan County there. They are a major sponsor of the 0 Mile Fun Run. So the Sheriff's Office and the Fire Department will be on scene. So we hope you will join all of us Saturday morning at 10 a.m. right here at San Juan College Graduation Plaza for the 2019 0 Mile Fun Run, and a great way to support this radio station as well. You can connect with us, of course, on all forms of social media. You can find us on Facebook, subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and check out KSJE on Instagram as well. If you're looking for something to do for the next couple of days, we invite you to check out our regional events calendar at ksje.com. We've got a lot of events that are going on throughout the month of May. The flamenco exhibit is still on display, of course, at the Farmington Museum. Farmington Social Dance Club is having a dance on May 16th at the Elks Lodge. Featured artist show continuing at the Feet of Clay Artist Co-op in Aztec. There's the 0 Mile Fun Run happening on Saturday. Navajo Lake Marina having a boat show this weekend. The Mother-Daughter Tea Party is happening at the Sycamore Park Community Center. The Symphony presents the Berlitz Celebration in Santa Fe, Spring Fling Dance at the Elks Lodge as well. Lots of things, just they go on and on and on. We have lots of events that we've compiled for you from, again, throughout the region. So check it out at our website, ksje.com. Well, let me turn to my guests who are here with me this morning from San Juan County to talk a little bit about the mosquito season that is about to start in earnest here because of our wet spring and winter. Armand Arellano is here from Vector Control at San Juan County. Armand, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Happy to be here.
Appreciate you coming in. And also with us this morning, Mr. Devin Neeley is here. Good morning to you.
Yeah, glad to be here again, Scott.
Thank you, Devin, for coming in as well. And Armand, let me start with you a little bit about your job. You've been with Vector Control for almost...
I've been here for 14 years.
14 years, you're telling me. Yeah.
In the Vector Control Department.
Right. And so the department, basically, at this time of year, you are worried about and going out and trying to control the mosquito population.
Yes. We're trying to get out there, and the big part of it is public education and letting them know where to look for on their property, that on places that hold water, and to find places where mosquitoes breed at. Not only that, we try to get some of the farmers and stuff to try to
Right.
do a little more rotation on their watering when they do flood irrigating.
Sure. And all that is happening right now. This is the season when this is all starting, right? The ditches
Yes.
are started, and the farmers are getting out there, and other property owners too. And you sent me some photos, Devin did, of some of your crews out and about. And so this is what you're doing, right? You're out looking for standing water or ditches or things like that. Is that the
Yes,
main issues?
Like this area right here on this photo, it's off the right-of-way off of Highway 550 north of Aztec, and a lot of the areas, they get grown up, and so we have to kind of fight through the Russian olives and try
Yes.
to get to where the water's at.
Right.
And that's another thing that we try to get the property owners to do when we do find standing water on their property. We try to talk to them and get them to clear out some areas where we can get to the water and
Right.
and check it and treat it if necessary.
And that's something you were telling me before that I wasn't aware of, is that you can go on to private property with the owner's permission, of course,
Yes.
to help control the mosquito populations if they do have an area with a ditch or standing water or other potential problem areas, correct?
Yes. If a property owner does have feel like they have a problem with mosquitoes in the area, they can call us, and what we'll do is we'll go out there. One of the questions we ask them is if they have any, any drain ditches or ponds or any standing water on their property, or if they know if any of their neighbors have any standing water on their property, and we'll go out there, kind of look around and empty any
Right.
man-made containers or anything that hold water.
Right. Things like tires,
Yeah, and
I
then
guess, is one of those.
Yeah, and we'll have them sign a permission slip which is, allows us to go on their property and continue to do mosquito control on their property. And
And does that last all summer, basically, if they give you that
Yes.
permission once during the season?
we try to. We keep their permission slip on record.
Okay.
We try to renew them at least every 5 years because.
Oh, okay, so it's multiple years.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of properties in the county that change
Sure.
ownership, so we try to stay up to date with.
Right. And this is only for folks who live in the county. You're certainly not providing the service in the cities.
Right.
That's the city's responsibility.
Yeah. We do have an agreement with the city of Aztec. We do adult
Okay.
spraying for the city of Aztec. We don't do any larvicide treatments. We don't check like any city properties for standing water or anything. It's all mainly county.
Got it. And so this season, as I mentioned, we've had the wet winter and the wet spring, and we've still got showers in the forecast the next couple of days, perhaps. So that's prime weather for mosquito populations, is it not?
Especially like the temperatures that we got yesterday, almost hit 90 degrees.
Right. That helps too.
Yeah, with the snow melt, of course they're kind of expecting that we might get some flooding,
Right.
which will cause areas to start puddling and ponding up, or there could be a possibility with problem mosquito breeding areas, and
Right.
so.
That's what you're watching for, right? And
Yeah,
that's the concern.
And then with the temperatures, anything above 80 degrees, 80 to 90 degrees, you get mosquitoes that will they develop from egg to adult mosquito within 5 to 7 days. So
They're fast.
Yeah, in warmer temperatures, they're really quick.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we haven't seen those real warm temperatures yet, but I know they're coming.
Yeah.
And so, although again, we're supposed to get colder weather again tomorrow, so that can help calm things down, can it?
Yeah, it helps quite a bit.
Right. But you're and your crews want to get a handle on this before it gets out of control, I suppose, right? And so, and we know we have a lot of waterfront, riverfront areas in the county, and a lot of places that are tough to access, and so it can be a full day's job to try to get to some of these sites for your folks.
Yeah, and I was kind of doing the math on like the area of what we do cover in the county, just and it mainly is around the river property. We cover probably around 47,000 acres, just in property, kind of doing surveillance and just watching for mosquito problem areas.
Right. And so again, if someone has a problem or they've got a piece of property where they know they're going to have mosquitoes, or maybe they're already encountering mosquitoes, they can call your office and get you to come out and take a look and see if you can help them out if they're in the county.
Yeah.
Or Aztec.
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest part of our program is, we don't want anybody to get sick because of a mosquito bite. And
right.
Feel free to call. Our number is 505-334-6775. My name's Armand Arellano I'm the supervisor for the Vector Control Department.
Okay. Just talk to the guy you saw on the radio. Right. Everybody, that's what you can do. So that's how to do it. But that is an issue though with health, right? Because we were talking like 14 years ago, mosquitoes were just a nuisance, but now they're potentially a health hazard for folks, because we have to talk about West Nile virus when we talk about mosquitoes, and we do have mosquitoes in San Juan County that do carry this potentially deadly virus.
Yes, the species is called Aculex tarsalis, and
easier for you to say.
There's a lot of different mosquitoes that have some pretty difficult names.
Yeah, I bet.
Mainly in the earliest part of the season, they feed on blackbirds. That's their main source of a blood meal for the protein, so that they can produce the eggs.
Right.
And then later in the summer, from late July through the rest of the summers, they kind of change and start feeding on human, and that's where and the birds are a reservoir host for the West Nile virus. Humans are dead end hosts. So,
okay.
So they can't.
We don't spread it.
We don't spread
once
it.
we get it.
Right.
We just get sick.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. Mosquitoes. Yeah. But that's a problem, because we have had cases here in San Juan County. I think almost every summer. I can't remember one that we haven't had a case. Sometimes folks just get sick and then get better, but in some cases it can be a fatal virus for some folks. Correct?
Yes, and it's probably about like 80% of the people that have contracted West Nile disease don't even know that they've had it.
Right.
It's just they're asymptomatic, and then that other 20%, they some of them get the symptoms, and then like 5% are the ones that really get sick and end up with lifelong problems or even deaths.
Right. Which means the work of your crews are all the more important to try to calm these populations down or get rid of them and make it safer for folks to be out in the summertime.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about. And so some of these other areas of these photos that you sent me are, Armand, here's an area of looks like just some standing water and some tire ruts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what this this is like a real prime area for mosquito breeding, because there's a lot of vegetation there. And
yeah, it's very green, very lush, right?
And mosquitoes, they do feed off of plant nectars and just plant. The mosquito larvae, they feed off of plant debris in the water.
Right.
And they need water to survive. So
sure. So that's a problem. And here we have just a regular old wheelbarrow with some water in it, and that's enough to start mosquito breeding and eggs and hatching and all that.
Oh yeah, just a 1 pound coffee can
really
can breed up to like 800 mosquitoes in it. If it's full of water.
Wow. And it's not. It doesn't take very long. You were saying, right? How many days?
In warmer weather, from 5 to 7 days.
Okay.
There's
So if I don't dump that coffee can out,
Yeah,
in 5 to 7 days later, if it's warm enough, I'm going to have a problem.
Oh yeah, and that's more of a the spraying chemicals and trying to treat mosquitoes with chemicals is pretty much a temporary fix. If you find an area that does hold water, and you go and pour it out, that's more of a a definite fix for that problem ain't going to happen there anymore. So
Right. Interesting. And so again, you're going out, your crews are going out and checking for some of these problems and problem areas and spraying them, but this will continue all summer, will it not, for your
Yes.
crews?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a constant rotation through the county that we go through, and try to get them in the water before they get in the air. Because we can knock down a lot more mosquitoes in the water whenever we do find a breeding site and treat it there than we would spraying the chemical in the air. And we're just kind of hoping that the mosquito does fly into a few droplets of the chemical that we spray and knock them down.
That's what it takes. Gotcha. And then here's another picture that, are you taking a sample
Yes.
of the water? Is that what the idea is, to see kind of how, what the population is or what have you, I suppose?
That's one of the ways we do surveillance or check a site to see if there's a problem there. It's called a dipper. It's just a little cup on the end of a aluminum stick, and we dip in there and we kind of get a mosquito count per dip.
Got it.
There's been some times where in some fields that have like hoof prints from cattle,
Right.
and you look in there and it just looks like coffee grounds because there's so many mosquito larvae in there, and so
Great. Thanks, sir. But this is the issue, right? And this is prime time with the warmer weather that we've had. I mean,
Yes.
it's going to cool off again, so that will help. But we know we're going to have warmer weather eventually. And is that really what defines the season? I suppose when things cool off in the fall, is that when you guys can take a break?
we work all the way up until like October, middle October.
Okay, right. Until it gets
until
really
it
cold
starts
and stays
freezing.
cold,
Yeah,
right?
we work all the way up until it starts freezing.
Okay.
Because just like last year, we had a real dry season. Last year, there are some species of mosquitoes that do lay their eggs in the mud, and they can lay dormant in the mud for up to like 5 years. So, if we do get a lot of flooding and we get water in them areas where the mosquitoes had laid the eggs, and they get some water, there's potentially that we have mosquitoes that were
Really?
laid in the
Really?
mud
From last
like
year?
5 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that could happen. Okay, and that's good. And we're expecting. Well, we've had a wet season already, but again, with the potential flooding of the river, even in some of those river front areas, I suppose the river could go up, flood, and then go back down, and there you have a problem. And that's the issue.
Yes.
So when your crews go out and spray, how long is that spray effective before you have to go back?
We are limited on how much we can put out by the label.
Right.
Well, us as pesticide applicators, the label's the law.
Sure.
And it's the same thing with, we try to tell the people, protect yourself. Wear your DEET. The percentage of DEET on your product doesn't mean that like if you have a higher percentage of DEET in one product than lower, all it means is you don't have to apply it as often, and and the main thing is to always read your labels on the product labels, on how to apply it and
Right.
and stay protected, and
Gotcha.
so you don't overdo it.
Right.
So.
But if you go to one area and spray, how long before you have to go back to that same area? Does it last all season, or is there...
Oh no, it's like a 24-hour spray. I mean,
Gotcha.
but
it's going to kill the larvae and all that stuff, right? So that should handle it for a few days, I would hope.
Well, the larvicide chemicals that we use are totally different from the adulticide mosquitoes. The adult...
But if you kill the babies, the unborn ones, and then you kill the ones that are alive, that should be good for a while.
Our larvicide products that we use, we do have some that some chemicals that we use that they do have like a 40-day residual.
I see.
So
Okay.
and then, but like our adulticide chemicals, they really degrade really quick in the sunlight.
Right.
ULV really breaks it down
I
pretty
see.
quick. So.
Okay. Here's another picture that you sent me. This is maybe what, just a sample, a water sample, or?
Yes, this is a water sample. You can see a few mosquito larvae in there. That was in that. I think it was in the entire roots that
Right.
was in the picture previously to this one. But
Gotcha. And so this gives you an idea of how many or the concentration of the larvae and all that?
and that's just like maybe a 2-cup
Yeah.
dipper.
I know you're freaking me out, Armand. I'm just going to come clean and tell you. But that is what you do to kind of know how bad the problem is in a certain area, I suppose?
And we also, if we do get quite a bit of calls in a certain area, we do set up traps. They're called the CDC light trap, and we do bait them with I think you have a picture of one that we were putting up in a tree. But we bait it with dry ice.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the
Everybody
dry
who's
ice
watching?
kind of simulates, the breathing of a cow or a human. Just do exhaling.
Right.
And that's what mosquitoes are attracted to.
And so this is a trap for the mosquitoes?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
And what it does is, and it also has a little light in there because the mosquitoes are attracted to light.
Right.
So, so it's kind of like a double mode trap. They're attracted by the CO2 and the light, and they'll get close to it. And there's a fan that sucks it down into the net, and that's how we collect. So,
Okay.
I mean, there has been some places that we've collected like maybe 1,200 mosquitoes just overnight, just in one trap. So, and then what we do with that, we go and we kind of separate the, kind of do a little identification on the mosquitoes, and we try to pull out the Culex mosquitoes.
Right.
And we do have a ramp reader at our shop that we can test the mosquitoes for West Nile.
Nice. Okay.
So
if you do find some, you can send out some kind of advisory or something, or Devin
what
can.
we do is we really target that area if we do find an area that is positive for West Nile.
Right.
And try to take control of it before it gets out of hand. So.
That's important. That's important. I'm talking to my guest from San Juan County this morning. Armand Arellano is here. He's with Vector Control with San Juan County and all the mosquito control that he is doing and his crews are doing across the county this spring and summer. Devin Neeley is also here, the county's public relations manager. And we were talking before we came on the air this morning too, Armand, about a program, because I know not everybody maybe once you're spraying, or your spraying can be hazardous to other insects and positive insects that help the environment. And so you've got a plan for that too, correct?
Yes. If you don't want your property sprayed, all you have to do is just call, and we can put you on a no spray list and try to, because we try
And
to.
folks who wouldn't want their property sprayed would be because why? What would the reasons be?
Maybe because they have bees or they have organic gardens.
Got it.
Or they might be allergic.
Sure.
Or like
Chemical sensitivities or something
Right.
like that. Sure. We have a lot of folks I know who are into the beekeeping or looking at that and do have bees maybe on their property, and so they can register at a website, and that they will alert you about that situation.
Yes, if they go to fieldwatch.com, it's a mapping website for beekeepers, organic gardeners, and some other things. But if you go on there and register, it's for free. You can go on there and register and just pinpoint where your bee boxes are at, and they send us an email, and it helps us manage our spray routes around the bees so that we don't harm any bees.
Nice. And that would work for bees, or as you said, gardens, or any other property owners' concerns, I suppose,
Right.
if they just want to let you know not to worry about their property. And so that's a free service too, right? It's a
Right.
free
It's
thing
for
to
free,
do.
yeah.
And the website, once again,
It's fieldwatch.com.
fieldwatch.com, everybody. So you can check that out. And again, anywhere where you would spray in the county or in Aztec, I guess, could benefit from that. So, and I imagine they would work with the other entities around the county as well.
Yeah, they, I'm sure like the city of Farmington, they kind of watch,
Right.
watch where the beehives and everything are too.
Right.
Because we don't want to kill the bees.
No, of course
but we
not.
also don't want people to get West Nile. So we try to make a compromise between the two, and we do have a lot of beekeepers that do help us. Because they don't want the mosquitoes, but they have bee boxes, so they'll go over there and they'll cover the bees, and they'll
Okay.
feed their bees until for like a day or two.
And you can spray, and then the bees won't be affected.
Right.
Nice. Okay. Well, it's a great cooperative effort, I think. And
Yeah, it
and
is.
again, with the threat of West Nile, it's even more important to stay on top of these things as we talk about them. And let me bring Devin into the conversation just briefly about public awareness and making these alerts to the public, Devin, and things like that. I know that in the county does a pretty good job, a very good job of getting the word out when there is a problem or potential issue. Correct?
Yeah, certainly. We're going to make sure that that if there are issues that the public needs to know about, it's available on our Facebook page. We'll put it out through traditional media outlets like KSJE and others to make sure that people know what we're dealing with. In this case, on pretty much a weekly basis, as there is mosquito fogging going on, the operations in the evening and then overnight. Armand is going to let me know. We're going to post those on our Facebook on a weekly basis and make sure that folks know where we are. This week we're already in the US 64 area, West Hammond, if I remember correctly, and so you can watch the San Juan County Facebook page to find out where they're doing operations.
Great. And again, this is a public service too, to be able to do this on private property. I think not every county offers that service to folks who live near the river or have a problem or potentially like that. So that's a great service that the county provides to these folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because you have a property line doesn't mean the mosquitoes are going to respect that property line.
They don't.
So
They really don't.
we think that it's valuable to be able to treat the mosquitoes where they are, and when that is on private property, we want to help the property owners. We don't want to have to rely on property owners to do it themselves, so we're happy to offer that service if requested.
Right. And that's the key, right?
Exactly.
The property owner has to request it and give you permission, the county permission, to come on their property.
Correct.
To handle it. So great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Armand, let me ask you a bit more. Again, I've got another photo I think I want. This is another sampling that is going on in this photo that we're going to show in a minute here. This one? That one?
Yes, that's actually that.
That same thing, right? Is it the
Yeah,
same
that's
photo?
it.
Am I showing the same one twice?
That's that photo of them tire ruts.
Right.
I mean that can even that can be a drain ditch that people kind of try to divert their water
Right.
off of their their flooded irrigated
Sure.
fields or whatever into some drain ditches to try to get the water to the river, and
Got it.
and there's a lot of times that they're
If the water's moving, it's not as big of a
hopefully
problem,
it's
correct?
moving.
Right?
Yeah, if
Okay.
the water has considerable flow, there's most likely that we ain't gonna have a problem in that water. It's,
Right.
Mostly standing water where we will have problems. So a lot of times we try to get the property owners again to try to at least clean the ditches where where the water will flow.
Right.
Um,
Because when it slows down or stops, that's when you have the problem.
Right.
And that's what you don't want to have. Interesting. And so you've been spraying and fogging and getting out there. When did you all start this spring?
For larvicide, we started I think like the second week of April, trying to get out there. It might have been a little bit earlier than that.
Okay.
Checking water to see if there's any mosquito larvae. But last night was actually the first night that we have had above 50 degrees at
Overnight,
nighttime, so
right.
that we can go out and do some adulticide spraying. So.
Gotcha. And you were mentioning that sometimes the sun does a number on what you're spraying. And so do you go out at nighttime sometimes, I guess? Is that more effective?
Nighttime spraying is pretty much temporary.
I see.
Like I said, if we get people to check their property, and do a little more water, good water management practices, it's more. It helps out a lot more than going out there and spraying. So.
Gotcha. And again, those good water practices would be just checking for the standing water and making sure that's draining or
Right.
getting rid of it and all that other stuff what we've been talking about, correct? And that's what what they need to be doing, and all of us need to be doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we've been talking about the county, but even if you live in the city, even if in Farmington or Bloomfield or Kirtland, the same rules apply. As Devin said, these mosquitoes do not
Right.
respect property
I mean,
borders
there's-
at all.
There's a lot of things that people can look on their property that hold water, like maybe old tires, plastic bags, or clutter.
Right,
You know,
right.
or like tarps or anything that maybe it's rained and it's holding water in there. That could be a potential breeding site for a mosquito. Old swimming pools or anything that hold water, bird baths. Try to get your water rotated like 3 to 5 days. Flower pots.
Yep.
Tin cans. I was kind of sharing with Devin the other day about this experience I had at my place, because I used to live next to my parents, and my mom, she was trying to start some willow trees in a bucket,
Okay.
and so she had these branches in there, and man, we were starting to get a bad mosquito problem. I was like, man, and I was out there talking to one day, and I looked inside this bucket, and man, it had hundreds of mosquito larvae in there, and I was like, oh, this is where our problem is coming from.
Right. Oops. Hey, Mom. Yeah. But it's just as simple as that. And so you really have to do a kind of almost an inventory around your property to see if you've got any of these potential problems, because they will grow wherever, I suppose.
Yeah, they just anywhere there's water. I mean, they can breed.
Right.
Just like one female mosquito, after a blood meal they can produce. They just after one feeding, one blood meal, they can produce up to 200 eggs. So.
Thanks for that statistic, Armand.
And
But that's what they do. Isn't nature wonderful? But yeah, but it's fascinating. I mean, and again, it can cause and that's obviously an example of how big a problem you can have if you don't get it under control,
Right.
or control it. So that's why it's so important to stay on top of it. And with the rains that we've had, again, this can be, you could check your yard one day, it'll rain or it'll shower, or the sprinklers will be on and they'll fill up the cans again or whatever, and boom, you've got another problem,
Right.
potentially. And as the weather warms up, this is what's going to cause them to hatch and
just
fly around.
And go from egg to adult mosquito in 5 to 7 days.
Right.
And I mean, they just kind of.
Right. Devin?
Scott, if I may, the key here is our first line of defense is everybody.
Sure.
We don't want to be out just throwing chemicals around and trying to kill the mosquitoes. We don't want them to breed to begin with.
Exactly.
Obviously, somebody with a large piece of property, it's going to be a challenge to make sure that all of those potential water collectors are taken care of. But if you go around at your home, and I'm talking to you too, Scott. You live in an area that you probably have something in the backyard that's going to collect water. If you're able to take care of that the first time.
Right.
This goes for everybody in the county, in Bloomfield, in Kirtland, in Shiprock, everywhere. If you take care of the problem the first time, then the rest of the season, your property isn't a problem property. So our first line of defense is making sure that these collection sites are not available to the mosquitoes.
Good point. And you're right. And again, with the weather, as cool as it has been, although it was warm yesterday, it'll be warm again today,
Yeah.
and windy, but then it's going to cool off again tomorrow. This is a perfect opportunity, though, to try to get ahead of the problem, as you're
Exactly.
saying, and then not have it when we do get these consistent days over 80 degrees and nights over 50 degrees, and that's when you start really seeing these populations explode.
And at the county, we'd really rather be focusing on areas that we can't control. Areas around the river. The river
Sure.
comes up, it comes back down, and there's a pool next to the river. We'd rather focus on areas like that than rather than have to go to somebody's property and start dumping out wheelbarrows and dumping out tires and things of that nature. So it is important and very critical that homeowners and property owners take that first step to protect themselves and their property and their livestock and everybody else in the county.
Good point. Appreciate that, Devin, very much. And we have a viewer watching from Albuquerque. So hello, Albuquerque. You probably have a problem there, too. So pay attention. Armand, before we run out of time, would you, again, share that website if folks want to register their property, if they don't want you to spray or want to, and where should they go?
If they have bees on their property, they can go to fieldwatch.com
Thank you.
and register the bees.
Okay.
And if they don't want to be sprayed or their areas, or the property, for us to go on the property and check the property, they can always call us and
Okay.
and let us know. We can put them on a no spray list.
Okay, the website is fieldwatch.com. And your number again, if folks do want to call you and just say, hey, I think I might have a problem, would you guys mind coming out and taking a look, or what do you think? What's the number?
It's 505-334-6775.
Okay, that's San Juan County Vector Control, everyone. And again, you'll be posting, Devin will be posting all the places where you are spraying, your crews are spraying on the San Juan County
Right.
Facebook page. That's been a great resource for information. So, and that keeps Devin off the streets, so that's good. We appreciate that. So, thank you both for coming in this morning. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
You're very
Thanks,
welcome.
Sam.
Devin, thanks for being here. Again, we'll see San Juan County here at the 0 Mile Fun Run for KSJE this Saturday at 10 o'clock. So,
Looking forward to it and training already.
all right, I can see that. So, perfect. Thank you both very much. My guests from San Juan County here on KSJE. I'll be back with more in just a moment, everybody. The time is 8:45. This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llano Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center.
In a changing climate, a closer look at the tech we're going to need to survive. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech, demystifying